Renzo, you know how I have issues with blanket statements.
Oh, I know. I know you do.
We have had this discussion many times when somebody says, all politicians are the same, or all the Democrats, or all men, all women, this. And that is why the expression I picked today is comparar papas con camotes.
Ooh, one of my favorites. And not just because it talks about potatoes and sweet potatoes, both delicious, but because it's such a great phrase when you run into that situation. Because as you know, as someone who has a problem with blanket statements, they come up a lot when you're having a conversation or trying to have a constructive debate with someone. People make these
Blanket
claims.
statements.
Blanket statements.
But how would you translate comparar papas con camotes?
Exactly. Literally, it's comparing potatoes and sweet potatoes. Important to note that this is a variant. There are many other ways of expressing the same idea. One of the more common ways.
Comparar peras con manzanas. That's the one we use in Venezuela.
Exactly.
Why are we talking about expressions now?
Oh, right. This is Just a Spanish Phrase, the podcast where we dive into the meaning and history of common Spanish idiomatic expressions and the companion podcast to News in Slow Spanish.
In News in Slow Spanish, we speak 100% in Spanish. We have also a huge expression catalog where we use all these expressions in Spanish conversation. But in here, we want to give you like the juicy gossip behind the...
If you want to listen to us talk about politics and culture and current events and using these expressions in those conversations, go to News in Slow Spanish. Here, let's talk about the phrase itself.
And the juicy gossip. So, talking about juicy gossip the phrase, one recent example of comparar papas con camotes was people comparing the, you know how they say, oh, all politicians are the same, all first ladies are the same. So people started comparing the recently launched Melania documentary with the Michelle Obama documentary. And they are absolutely opposites. They're completely different. Not only the documentaries, but also the first ladies. You know, you watch the Melania documentary, is about beauty, shoes, fashion. You watch the Michelle Obama documentary, and it's about how the overcoming obstacles, like helping the others, altruism, how you can use your role as a first lady to really make a difference in underserved populations. So really comparing those two documentaries is comparar papas con camotes.
And of course, if you're listening, you've figured out by now that this expression is about the absurdity of comparing two things that honestly probably can't be compared, or that the exercise in comparing them is pointless.
Yeah, same with comparing, let's say, CEOs. You know, some CEOs are generous. Let's say they invite their employees to Puerto Rico or something. Other CEOs organize luxury weddings in Venice and spend all their money in like renting pretty much an entire island.
We're talking about Mr. Bezos there, of course.
We didn't want to name names.
Oh, I'm not afraid of naming names. And speaking of names, Melania, one of the greatest movies ever made, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that not? I'm sorry, I saw it 5 times on opening night. I thought you did too.
Good. Well, speaking of names and Bezos, I know the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos. She got a huge fortune when she split. And of course, she helped him found Amazon. And then she invested all her money in education, in scholarships, in helping. Or, for example, pop stars. You cannot compare pop stars because they're completely different. There's a recent pop. Are we naming names at the end?
Sure.
Okay,
yes,
let's talk about my dear Benito, Bad Bunny. I realized that he has a nonprofit organization called Good Bunny, where he gives scholarships to kids who have talents for the arts, for sports, for the science, and he pays for their education. Then he helps, visit Good Bunny Foundation website and you will see all the things he does with all that money.
Right. So it's like saying comparar papas con camotes is, Bad Bunny and who, let's see, off the top of my head, who could I compare him to? Kid Rock.
Ooh. There was, I must say, I
I
must go
know.
back to Instagram. There was a meme that showed Bad Bunny without a shirt and Kid Rock without a shirt. And the meme said, sorry, we win.
Well, again, papas y camotes, unfair comparison. Kid Rock is, his time in the sun is in the past, and he must be,
How old is he?
I don't know, around 60.
60 plus?
Bad Bunny's in his prime.
33?
So an unfair comparison. But the point is, there might be similarities on the surface. They're both musicians. But is that enough to compare them in any kind of productive or fair way? No. Es papas y camotes. Es peras y manzanas. In English, do you know this one?
No.
It's apples to oranges. You can't compare apples to oranges.
Exactly. You cannot make blanket statements. Even if they are fruits and they are from a tree, it's completely different fruits.
Now, about the origin of these expressions. Peras y manzanas, the one that's more common in many Latin American countries, it's believed that it comes from a very old, very similar Italian, pele y mele, or pere y mele, I guess. It's apples and pears, exactly the same thing.
Interesting.
But papas y camotes, potatoes and sweet potatoes. This is my favorite. It's common in Peru and other Andean countries.
In Peru, you have how many varieties of potatoes?
Oh, we stopped counting after 400. But that's the one that I grew up with, papas y camotes. Because, of course, in Peru, the potato, like you said, the birthplace of the potato, and sweet potatoes as well, very common. But the thing linguistically that's really interesting about that variation, papas y camotes, is that it has a little bit of a meta significance with the word choice. Because papas is a quechuismo or quechismo. It's a word that comes from Quechua, papa, whereas camote does not come from Quechua, it comes from Aztec. It's an Aztequismo. So you have these two root vegetables, tubers, papas y camotes, which on the surface are similar, but they're very different. They come from very different families of plants, and you use them in maybe similar ways in a dish, but potatoes and sweet potatoes, you don't want to mix them together.
Really?
Maybe it could be good.
I mean, you're the cook in this.
I wouldn't mix them together. I like them separately, but to each their own. But then the point of the two words coming from very distinct language roots, Quechua and Aztec, adds another layer to the, things that are similar on the surface, but in fact are quite different, and there's no point in comparing them.
Why do we always end up talking about food and I always end up hungry after this show?
I don't know. I think it's
not only
way.
Here, also in Using Slow Spanish, we end up talking about food all the time, and now my stomach is growling. So let's go out and eat some, I don't know, potato or sweet potato. What do you think?
Es papas y camotes. We can't compare.
We just have to
try them both.
Okay, let's do that. So thank you for joining us to one more Just a Spanish Phrase episode.
We'll be back next week with more interesting idiomatic expressions to unwrap.
And if you want to watch the Melania documentary and compare it to the Michelle Obama documentary, we'll wait for you in rooms and we can have a discussion about
watch it 10
that.
times. Leave good reviews.
Haha.
I'm kidding.
Bye.
Obviously.